Welcome back. Based on the posthumously published best-selling memoir of the same name, Salt in My Soul is a new documentary that explores the heart and mind of a young woman, Mallory Smith, and her quest to live a full life, knowing full well it would be cut short by disease. Now, here with more is Salt in My Soul director Will Battersby and Mallory's mom, Diane Shader-Smith. Both of you, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Diane, I'm going to start with you. Cystic fibrosis was Mallory's diagnosis, but she didn't let it define her life as a death sentence. What was the source of her strength and her desire to share this experience, living with this insidious disease?
I think she had an intuitive understanding that if she complained or talked about her disease, that it would be a turnoff to people. And she wanted to just have fun. She spent so much time living in her house, wherever she was, doing treatments and taking care of herself. And by stepping out of that shell when she was with her friends, she got to live some semblance of a normal life. And in terms of the writing, I think that was her outlet. That's where she put all her frustrations and her pain and her fears.
Will, there was so much source material here. Over 2,500 pages of these secret diaries, hundreds of hours of video and audio. How hard was it to distill all this down into a single documentary?
It was both, it was difficult, but it was also sort of a dream for a documentarian. There's nothing worse than scant archival, where you're sort of trying to manufacture something. And, Mallory, I think, as Diane said, the writing, the audio, the secret videos, the podcasts, it was her way of really sort of expressing herself and putting something out in the world while she was living, within the sort of shell of this disease.
Diane, you lost Mallory now just over 4 years ago. We often hear about the grief cycle: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and that now many experts in the field will say that acceptance and closure is kind of a myth, and that we never really get over a loss like this. We just learn to sit with the pain, and that pain is actually a teacher, and that wisdom comes in through the wounds. What wisdom have you acquired through this?
Well, I've really learned the single message that if you work to create a legacy around your loved one, it helps you and it helps others, especially if you can figure out how to put that pain to good use. We in my grief group describe it as turning pain into purpose, because it gives you a reason to live. It allows you to continue to spend time with your loved one. And in this case, we have both a magnificent book that Mallory wrote and an incredible film that Will created. So I'm a very, very lucky grieving mom.
Oh, that's beautifully said. Will, there are new therapies and state-of-the-art, frankly, groundbreaking science that's also highlighted in this film. Tell us a bit about that.
Right. So in Mallory's final days, her dad, who's extraordinary, Mark Smith, had been researching something called phage therapy, Phage, which is actually a very old therapy that predates penicillin, which is a way of natural things called phages that will attack bacteria in your body. And essentially, they're realizing that this is going to be key to fighting superbugs. And Mallory was the second person in the United States to get phage. She got compassionate use because things were so dire at the end of her life. Unfortunately, Mallory didn't get it in time, but what they did discover in autopsy is that it actually was working. So, as much as this is a sad story, there's this extraordinary turn, her case is definitely going to help save, thousands of lives. It's already saving lives. So that's the kind of, the incredibly hopeful message coming out of this.
Diane, what has COVID taught you about, treating, living through, a difficult time, trying to, promote wellness versus treating illness as we all go through this collectively as a planet?
Well, the most striking thing about COVID is how similar the protocols and limitations are to what Mallory and everyone with CF lives with.
Right.
Because the masking, the social distancing, all of those things that you do, the hand washing, the Purell, that's all the same protocols that the cystic fibrosis community lives with. And what I think it did was the other way around. I think it taught the world what CF lives with. And from my perspective, I've used this time to give talks to share Mallory's story, because what I hear over and over, and it does propel me forward, whether they hear it through me speaking, Mallory's writing, or the film that Will has created, is that Mallory inspires people. And at this time, we're all feeling distraught and shut in, and our mental health is affected. I think there is a clear message that no matter how much time or whatever your quality is, you have to find joy in every day. That is the message, whether it's a beautiful cup of coffee that you've gotten from your local coffee house that's freshly brewed, and by the way, Will's wife has a coffee shop, or whether it's finding something to watch on TV, like Salt in My Soul, that inspires you, or taking a walk in nature. It doesn't really matter what it is. You have to learn how to find simple joys. And it has taught us all to slow down and to appreciate what we do have, I think.
Salt in My Soul, the memoir, this documentary, they're both really a hymn, I think, to the human condition and the spirit that, love will beat fear every time. You just have to give it a chance and be patient. It's it must be quite a gift for you, Will, to have been part of this project from the beginning too, huh?
It's been fantastic. It's taught me so much, really, to kind of, savor every day, get the joy out of life, and, not be afraid to feel all the emotions, that we've all been feeling in these last couple of years, but also to, take a step forward and as you say, kind of enjoy your loved ones and enjoy life. Salt in My Soul has theatrical screenings right now in the States. It's released on video on demand today in Canada, the States, and the UK. Will and Diane, I thank you both for your time and sharing this incredible story with us and our audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.